Hello, my name is Braxton. My matrix number is UDB210242 and I am from section 4. So today I'm going to talk about how suicide can be prevented among the young and the old. We all know that among young and old, suicide as an escape is on the rise these days. Basically, suicide is when an individual causes his or her own death on purpose. So before trying to take their own life, an individual may have the thoughts of wanting to die. This is called suicide ideation. He or she also has suicidal behavior. That's when an individual is focused on doing things that causes his or her own death. So suicide is the third leading cause of death in among young and the old. The adolescents, physical changes, mental shift and emotional shifts, stress, confusion, fear and doubt can all have impact on an individual's problem solving and decision making abilities. So he or she may also have a sense of pressure to succeed or continue of living. The meaning of suicide basically is taking one's own life. It is sometimes used as means of escaping pain or suffering. When someone takes their own life, we call it as suicide. A suicide attempt is when someone attempts to take their own life but fails. So suicide death, however, are only one aspect of the problem. More people survive suicide attempt than die because of them, because they are frequently seriously injured themselves and require medical attention. Suicide is a serious public health problem that causes untold tragedy for survivors' families, friends, and people around them. Suicides also usually will frequently link to our mental health issues like depressions, anxiety, and substance abuse disorders. Especially when they go undiagnosed or untreated, suicidal behavior is not always caused by a mental health problem. The issues of suicide in the millennium have now shown a very significant increase in recent times. The increase in suicide cases among young people, especially students, is due to several factors. According to the results of studies from psychological investigations have found that as many as 60% of the perpetrator will commit delirium and depressions. This depression occurs due to being too traumatized in a thing that one cannot forget. When a person suffers from depression, then they will think that suicide is one of the best escapes of their problem. In addition, physical factors are also an increasing number of suicide cases. This is said to be so because physical factors are often associated with physical disabilities or bullying from others. When a person is often bullied or insulted due to a person's physical disability, then he or she will experience prolonged depressions. At the same time, this also will encourage them to commit suicide. In turn, social factor also plays a role in the increasing in bullying cases because a person is experiencing environmental problem either at school or in the office. These cases will be on the rise. So last is the family factor. Family factors are also often associated with suicidal factors. This is said to be so because the cracked and problematic household system as a result of fights on both sides has prompted this case to take place. So usually suicide cases occur among wives due to fraudulent factors and disorganized financial system. So this situation will cause them to be depressed and take an easy way out to commit the suicide. I believe that everyone in their life must have a thought of suicide for once. You need to know that every problem has a solution and suicide is not the best way to solve the problem. As example, you can seek for psychiatry for the medications. When you take the medications, it can help you to control yourself from doing anything that can harm you. Or you can talk to someone that about the problem that you are currently facing. This can help you to release your stress and tensions because you know someone is listening to you and you are not alone. Cognitive strategies also used in health. For example, cognitive therapy for suicide prevention is a cognitive behavioral psychotherapy. It is designed for patients who have previously attempted or thought of suicide. The intervention teaches of patients skills to use the alternative ways to thinking and actions during suicidal crisis and help them to prevent the future attempts. Speech and language therapy can help you with a variety of mental health issues. As a result of their disease, some people may believe their social and communication skill abilities have deteriorated. Speech and language therapists assist and guide the individual in overcoming these issues by rethinking communications or providing answers to various issues that arise. But this will be entirely dependent on the person. Music therapy is the one of the treatments that can help many disorders such as depressions, anxiety, and autism. By doing this therapy, it can help people to reduce stress and pressure and improve self-esteem. Because music therapy can help you in many aspects such as emotionally, physically, and psychologically too. Next is there is also the things that we can do and we cannot do in supporting the suicidal behavior and thought treatment. So basically, we cannot be judgmental and criticize their actions or decisions. We should comfort them by using the nice words and always give them the encouragement to be the better versions of them. The most important thing is we cannot make a joke of their conditions, not listen to their story or problem when they are express their feelings. But then, we should not be asking them to be more mature in thinking. This definitely will stimulate them. So, suicide is a tragedy that can be avoided. Friends, family, co-workers, and others can assist by providing their support and connecting at-risk individuals to preventive resources. Every suicide attempt is a serious because every life is precious. We should learning the warning signs of suicide so that can be prevented all the time. Keeping open communication will give you a chance to help when needed. We should always talk with someone. Don't need to be sorry or afraid that the others will not believe you or take you seriously or not. You need to keep talking until they listen you sincerely before deciding to end your life. I also have a thought of suicide before because of my family issues. So during that time, there is one person that always comfort me until that I'm thinking in a positive way. So I'm very thankful to him. So everyone should be aware of how important you are to everyone around you, and also yourself is deserve to get a chance for yourself too. Don't just because of the impulsive decisions cause an innocent life to gone forever and ever. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
My name is Nur Amira Zulaikha binti Fairuz Effendy, and my matrix number is UDB210391. So today I'm going to talk about my topic, which is what is the purpose behind the function of homework in enhancing learning. So what is the purpose of homework? For me as a student, I feel like homework is just a burden to all the students all over the world. It's just a burden, but in a good way, some kind ways, it's a burden with benefits. So it depends on the students willing to do it or just to live it. So here what we call give and take system. The teachers will give you all the knowledge, all that they got, and it depends on you to take it or just like ignore it. Teachers often give assignments consisting of reading, solving, or me case study, or this kind of video assignment or writing that student must to do after the class, usually at home. So as an online learner, we need to do it at home. And so for things that we didn't understand, we need to look through other sources and look up and ask for help. So ideally, the purpose of homework is to help reinforce what we taught in class, but sometimes its purpose is to gather the extra information that what we already learned in class. But unfortunately, there are some teachers who just like don't understand the meaning of homework and they give it as something to keep the students busy, just like to keep us busy and to finish our workbook. They just give us a lot of work. Just imagine we got 5 subjects in one day and we need to do all this the the homeworks every subject and need to send it by tomorrow. So here is the thing, which is the teachers will get angry because we didn't even do it. Uh, it also a burden to all the student, which is it become a responsibility, like must do thing. Like, homework is a must do thing, so it's your responsibility that you need to do it. So that is homework work for. It makes the students gains responsibility and do their own work like independence. So although your teacher can provide information and explain the subject in class, we will like typically will only remember about 50% or maybe less than that of the information you get by seeing and hearing the explanation. So mostly as an online student learner, it is very hard to get focused on class because like we're at home and it is very comfortable place for us, and it gets very we get attracted very easily like to others thing because this is home, this is our home, we can just do anything that we want. If like we don't open the camera, the teachers wouldn't know. So the most common purpose of homework is to have students practice material already presented in class, even though I'm doing the share screen thingy. And the teacher or the professor will share screen and we will look through the share screen. Um, as to, like I said before, reinforce learning and facilitate mastery of specific skills such as listening skills, speaking skills, and talking skills. Also, it gains confidence skills. Um, So this what makes students feel the responsibility on must do homework must do thing, because like when we want it, we need to get it, and like we want it, we need to sacrifice for it. Okay. Mm. So homework also can serve purposes that do not relate directly to instruction. Homework can be used to establish communication between parents and children. Of course, nowadays students wouldn't like dare to ask their parents, but it can make it can make the relationship of the children and the parents become more deeper through the homework, and the parents will get informed just what is going on in school. They will know all the student doing in the school. So although we can ask the teachers question, if like we don't understand it completely, we still need to apply the information to learn the subject and turn it into knowledge. Okay, so that is the major reason for homework assignments. So if like we didn't know about it, so we need to spend our time to focus on that things and learn it back, or just do it on your own, so it will build up the independence on your own self. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mohamad Iqwan Asryaf bin Azman. My matrix number is UDB210376. Okay, so now I will talk about, has the use of technology made us more dependent or independent thinkers of both? Technology gave us machinery, computers, automobiles, and aircraft. It made the globe smaller by offering effective communication tools, enable exploration of the solar system and universe, and demonstrate that technology is actually important in human growth. There is no doubt that technology is wonderful, but are people going overlaying on it? Technology advancement have enabled people to perform things that we are never unthinkable, and it has undoubtedly made many activities easier than they were previously. How many of us can spend a week without using the internet or our phones? Do individuals nowadays take the time to learn their phone numbers? Humans have become so used to technology that the prospect of living without it is terrifying. What would happen if had to go without all gadgets? What will happen if all technologies that people depend or just shuts down? Technology has its advantage and disadvantage. Here are just a few of them. The first advantage is entertainment. If anyone wants to be entertained, there's no need to leave the house. You won't spend money on gas or waste time in traffic. That's for sure. There's no point of getting up, take a shower or getting dressed up just when you can just sit on the couch or surf Netflix. Microsoft and Nintendo have even introduced Kinect and Wii, which capture your moment in real time and simulate your movement in the game you are playing with the respective consoles. You can simulate bowling, play tennis, shooting game, or fishing. You see, you see the dilemma here. Why do real thing when you can do it inside the house? Secondly is socializing. When was the last time you have choose to contact someone just to speak or have an hour-long conversation? The majority of our remote communication nowadays are conducted via text message, emails, and online chat application and platforms. Some people despise admitting it, yet there are occasions when using emoticons is faster and easier than saying the words they represent. It can be frustrating to the receiver thought because they will believe you are too lazy to write the things you need to express. Another thing that is rapidly fading is the compassion hidden underneath these manufacturers' approximations of human feelings via chat platforms. Technology is a wonderful thing, and there is no doubt that we are now living in a technological advanced era. It shall come as no surprise that these complicated technologies are now plainly becoming a part of practically every aspect of our life. There is no doubt such as high-tech gadgets have improved our life and made things easier. All of the benefits are present, and we are experiencing them. Yet, we are frequently ignore the negative repercussions of technological independence, Some of the symptoms of technology independence are listed below. So without internet, no work. Of course, not all work, but there are corporate organizations that rely significantly on the internet and its intranets. Work grinds to a halt when the system fails. Emails cannot be sent to the clients. Important data cannot be collected and forwarded to the relevant personnel outside the field, and the necessary documentation for the day cannot be completed. The another disadvantage is calculators are used for simple calculations. Make no mistake, most individuals will grab for their calculator if x. What is 775 times 542? Unfortunately, most of today's students regard the calculator as a shortcut method to passing math rather than learning it to be utilized only when manufactured calculations are time-consuming or too hard. When kids and elders lack fundamental manual than abilities, they are more likely to make arithmetic error. It may be hard to take a step from technology to truly evaluate society's position. We may have taken the step from regular usage to full-blown education and technology independence. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nazrul Annaz bin Muhammad Zaki. My metric number is UDB 210337. So the topic that I choose is, does the genre of movie influence the way the young think and act in reality? The word genre comes from French, where it means type or kind. We define a particular genre as a type or kind of category of movie or film that has its own recognizable conventions and character type. There are many genres, which is action, comedy, drama, horror, and many more. Genre provide a simple way for movie makers to produce within a framework and provide an easily marketable product. A large majority of the media items that consumers consume today are movies. In Malaysia, watching is seen as a means of personal and social transformation that helps shape the views of the Malaysian audience as well as their attitude toward current social issues. Watching movies can change people's opinions on specific issues without affecting more stable constructs. Movies have been shown to have a variety of good benefits on children and teenagers. Dramatic movies taught teenagers about social interaction with the opposite sex, and adults had a positive impact on their self-concept. And as shown by experiments, increased ethnic tolerance, humanistic ally-oriented movies improve skill of children in communicating with peers, increase their desire to help and understand others. One of the prime examples of positive impact is sci-fi movies, which clearly show what we can expect in the near future and offers way to think about what can be done to avoid the darkest predictions. For example, after I watch the film The Day After Tomorrow, there is a need to shift consumer attitudes toward nature. And I am aware of my role in this effort. Overall, movies about climate change lead to more online requests and media coverage about this topic. Change in the viewer's attitude after watching the movie has its significance to influence the way the young people think and act in reality. Our expectations of reality are heavily influenced by our impression of fictitious characters in movies. As a result, we develop expectations that are either too high or too low. As an illustration, consider the widely successful Batman film trilogy. This is one of a number of films that have created controversy among young people because of its depiction of violence. As a result of watching these films, teenagers are more likely to engage in aggressive or even violent behavior as a result of the conflict between the good and the bad. A lot of the younger style is influenced by movies, and this can be seen in how they dress, how they talk, and so on. Movies allow us to take a break from our daily routines and allow us to unwind. Movies are a great way to get new ideas and keep up with what's going on in the world. The viewing of films which may have a negative impact on children's mental health should be prohibited from them as well. It's not a big deal if we watch a movie, but we have to be careful about the content and how long we spend watching it. It's also important to watch movies carefully so that they don't influence our own values. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and greeting to all the audience. I am Najman Ramlee bin Hamid, UDB 210272. Today I will be presenting about our topic, that is how strong is environment in which the kid is nurtured influence the psychological well-being of a child. The focus today is on genetic and environmental influence on parent-child conflict and child depression through late adolescence. Let's start with the objective today, that is few studies have investigated potential gender difference in genetic and environmental influence on few perspectives association between parent-child conflict and later depression. A notable gap given the substantial gender difference in rate of depression and suggestive evidence of difference in etiology of depression among females and males. To fill this gap, we evaluate whether the prospective relationship between parent-child and conflict in major depressive disorder symptoms vary as a function of parent-child gender composition. Let's first understand the method used. That is, a combined twin and adoption sample that was used are 53% female and 85% European ancestry that contain 1,627 adolescent siblings pairs. That's 10 that 1,627% was 10 containing 1,627 adolescent sibling pairs. That's 10 by 789 monozygotic twin pair, 594 dizygotic or full biological pairs, and follow up with 244 genetically unrelated pair, with assessment at 2.8 adults aged at 15 to 18 years old. The result here is prospective association between parent-child conflict and subsequent adolescent depression were explained predominantly through common genetic influence from mother-daughter and mother-son pairs, but less commonly happen in father-daughter or father-son pairs. The conclusion here is presence of gene-environment correlation involved in prospective association between parent-child conflict and later adolescent depression appear less to be relevant to father-child relationship in a comparison to mother-child relationship. Notably, results did not show parent-child conflict was more relevant to the etiology of MDD for girls than boys. Gender differences in depression do not appear to be due differences in the association between parent-child and child depression. I would like to highlight a few keywords here, that was behavior, genetic, depression, gender, parent-child conflict, and also parent-child relationship. The rate of depression increased rapidly during adolescence, although point prevalence estimate of major depressive disorder MDD are quite low in childhood, that is just 1 to 3%. Estimates in adolescence are comparable to those for adults, that is compared to 5 to 7%. A greater degree of cooperation is adolescent in association with both current and prospective impairment in a range of important psychological domains, including both family and peer relationship and academic functioning, as well as increased psychiatric comorbidity and suicidality. Depression in adolescents has such pervasive negative implications that has considerable effort devoted to defining risk factors for this development and causes. One excessively investigated putative etiology factor have been the quality of parent-children relationship. The parent-child relationship has long been seen as an important source of influence on child and adolescent health and adjustment. In particular, parent-child conflict and hostility have been implicated as playing a key role for depression in childhood and adolescence, with evidence both of concrete and prospective link between parent-child conflict and adolescent depression. Although prior research has demonstrated a consistent link between negative aspect parenting and depression in childhood and adolescence, for meta-analysis, that does not mean this link is necessarily causal. The relationship between parenting and child depression is likely bidirectional in nature and explained by a number of factors including parental depression. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Buvana and my metric number is UDB210398. Today, I'm going to talk about the social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Represent a great mode of communication to share our ideas or views. So let's do some research whether the social platforms are a great way for us to communicate our thoughts and opinions or not. I've seen that some of my friends post regularly and use status updates to tell us what they are up to. The social network like Twitter appears to be one of their first choice, with celebrities' tweets being the topic of many new discussions. Almost every commercial has a Facebook or Twitter link at the bottom. Furthermore, social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter have no longer pushed their users to create an online presence. They then create a personal network of friends that connects them to a global community that is open to everybody. Information is now freely transferred between it. These parties can converse publicly or privately through personal messaging. Other social networks such as YouTube provide a platform for users to publish and share their videos. People publish videos for themselves and for other users to publicize their sites. Because of their followers can readily view their music videos, YouTube has been a terrific platform for artists and film creators. Other social networks such as MySpace have also enabled users to add more movies to their accounts. These website provides simple access to a wide range of videos including music, sports, documentaries, and movies. Moreover, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are also well-known social media networks that millions of people use regularly. In today's world, it's exceedingly unusual to come across someone who does not have an account on one of these sites. Social media is used not just by individuals but also by corporations and organizations. Most of websites are visited on the internet, including a link to their Facebook profile. Business and turning to social Business are turning to social media networking as a form of advertising as it grows in popularity. It enables business and organizations to access millions of people on the platform that they already use regularly. Business and organizations may reach a large number of people and Facebook by creating pages and enticing customers with promotion and discounts. For example, let's say one of your friends share a post that is seen in your story. the story will be publicized. This allows the company to reach out the public. Last but not least, almost everyone, young to old, make use of social media in some way. This use is the use of social media and networking has raised the bar of communication. It has enabled non-profit corporations and individuals to reach audiences that they could not previously reach. So finally, we can conclude that the social media is a very significant platform for us to share our ideas and views. So yeah, that's all for me and thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Haikal bin Muhammad Zukiman. My matrix number is UDB210237. My topic I choose is how has technology influenced our understanding of the world being healthy in this era. Technology is the outcome of the application of all acquired knowledge in all techniques, skills, methods, and procedures employed in industrial production and scientific study. As a result, technology is incorporated in the operation of all devices for their intended purpose, whether true knowledge of their operation is available, by accepting input, modifying this component according to the goal of the planned system, and then generating the output, which is also known as the technology system. The system employs the intended application of the collected knowledge of technology. Our health is influenced by technological system in both positive and harmful ways. There are several ways in which technology might benefit our health. A digital gadget or app, for example, can assist us in improving our nutrition, tracking our exercise activities, or serving as a reminder to get up and move or take our medicine. There is way of well-sourced and trustworthy medical information available online, allowing people to research their own health conditions. Thus, it's important to note that misinformation exists, and finding information about health symptoms online can sometimes be a double-edged sword, causing unnecessary anxiety. Next, technology aids medical practitioners in providing improved patient care, increasing patient engagement, and delivering medical findings straight to patients' phones. For instance, online medical records that allow users to view test results and fill medications. Then, there's an app that keeps track of chronic conditions and sends critical information to physicians. This will make it easier for a doctor to use contemporary technologies to track chronic conditions. Furthermore, the technology may be utilized to set up virtual medical appointments. This can be accomplished through video the telephone consultations, particularly during the following COVID-19. Users will be able to schedule virtual medical sessions more easily, and the danger of infection from the COVID-19 virus, which has plagued the world in recent years, will be reduced. Digital eye strain is the next detrimental impact of technology. Our eyes might be harmed by constant exposure to digital devices. One of the most reported symptoms of excessive screen usage is digital eye strain, also known as computer vision syndrome (CVS). According to one survey, more than 60% of Americans are impacted by it. Dry eyes, redness around the eyes, hip age, impaired vision, and neck and shoulder pain are all symptoms of digital eye strain. Furthermore, technology has the potential to disrupt our sleep. A good night's sleep is essential for practically every bodily function. However, using a laptop, iPad, or smartphone right before bedtime might make it difficult to fall asleep. This is because the device's so-called blue light can increase attentiveness, and mess with your biological clock. Furthermore, digital gadget use might excite us and make us less sleep ready. Therefore, people may absorb and use technology after they go to bed. In conclusion, currently, there are several ways that technology might impact our attitudes regarding the term healthy. Technology has a variety of beneficial and bad consequences on our health. As a result, to have a beneficial influence on our health, we must appropriately utilize technology.
Hi, my name is Mohamad Iskandar Ramlee and my number matrix is UDB 210389, and I want to answer this question is what does the word evolution mean in academia and how does it impact students and teachers in this era? Firstly, education is very important in life. Over the years, technology has had an impact on how teaching and learning is done. Since technology is always changing and improving to new ways, it is common to see classrooms slowly changing and the way learning is done. The newest change that is slowly happening to classroom is the use of tablets instead of textbook. Another example of how technology is involved in education is most of our learning and researching has to do with the internet. Teachers and students are using it as a way of communicating and as teaching and learning aids. Overall, the involvement of technology in education is for the better of the student to try and find better ways to improve their living experience. Classrooms have changed throughout the years and are still continuing to change. The actual classroom themselves to the materials used are also changing and improving. One of the main reasons for the change is the constant technology that keeps coming out and improving always. Technology has had a positive effect on classroom, teachers, students, and ways of learning. Classroom, over the ways the years have been changing, the change are from blackboard to whiteboard and from projectors to smartboard. In almost every classroom, one can now find television in there instead of having only a set few televisions shared among classroom. Another thing that you can find is the use of tablets instead of actual textbook. Projector in classroom are used to share films, slideshow of notes, or image to a classroom. In order for this to display, it must be connected to a computer. A smartboard is like a white, but only better. It can record what the teacher write on it and allows the teacher to write on the board if he or she is giving a lecture and want to write something extra. Since this board can record what is being writing on, it can be sent to students look back on if needed. Television are included in the classroom as a form visual stimulation. Computers are there for the teachers and sometimes there are more for students to use, such as for research, also to help enhance learning. Lastly, the technology today in education has changed for the better. No ways of communicating with a teacher have helped a lot. Parents can know their child or children's grades online and not have to wait a report card and the And at the end of quarter semester, trimester, researching for class and papers has helped a lot. The adding of the textbooks online and tablets are becoming new ways of learning. To this never change to a classroom can cost the school lot. It can seen as an investment to better learning. Technology is always changing and impacting education. It can only get better. Alright, thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Mohamad Baihaqi bin Radzli, and my metric number is UDP 210277. So the topic that I choose to discuss is, should free education be made mandatory in all universities in order to increase literacy in every citizen? In the 21st century, a university degree provides unquestionable benefits. University education, on the other hand, should not, in my opinion, be provided for free. To begin, it's vital to remember that students are not always responsible for the full cost of tuition. There are merit and needed-based scholarships, financial aid, work-study programs, and government funding available to make education more financially accessible to young people. While I do not pretend that these cash giveaways are without flaws, I believe that the system in place rewards those who need extra help or who excel academically or in extracurricular activities. Above all, paying for everyone's education places a significant financial strain on the government and taxpayers, as well as a challenge for university funding. In what method would professor and faculty members be compensated? How about resources and research? University of all types and ranking necessitate vast sum of money, and burdening the government with free post-secondary education on top of free basic and secondary education is unjust. We now operate under a mean-tested system, which means that wealthier students pay more than disadvantaged students. If this arrangement is abandoned, wealthy children will benefit from free education. Let's face it, tertiary education is a privilege. It allows you to travel the world, engage in higher level research and academic study, and also gain access to highly specialized areas and professions. Other than that, young people respect a university degree as a result of a paid university education rather than viewing it as a commodity they may take for granted. It may even motivate students to work harder so that they can take advantage of their educational prospects. Because such an education is so expensive, children from lower socioeconomic backgrounds will certainly fall behind. That is why we must continue to battle to uplift, empower, and encourage those students to apply for financial aid programs, as well as expanding scholarship and other award opportunities for those who actually need them.
My name is Murugan. My matrix number is UDP 210120. So the question is, does culture influence our thinking in making decisions in life? Making a decision is the process of analyzing information about an issue or problem and the context, such as external demands and the important stakeholders, in order to reach a conclusion. Culture is a broad phrase with diverse connotations for different people. The character of a group of people who share a shared history and perception of suitable normative behavior, values, and belief is refers to as culture. Our ideas are shaped by culture. This is how life thought to be lived. Some culture beliefs are internalized while others are perceived as social influence. It's difficult to avoid seeing things through the eyes of others. As a result, we make decisions based on what will be the most beneficial outcome for us, as well as people who share our cultural or cultural beliefs. How to live, eat, work, have a family, and be part of a community. Our choices are mostly based on a set of rules that exist in our culture. Money and technologically advancement are directed towards society values. It does, however, affect our feelings of guilt and shame. We don't just make decisions based on positive outcomes. We also make decisions to avoid negative results under the influence of others. Social weight is unpleasant. We naturally need to compete and get along, but we logically know that there's a distant better, a much better, a higher, a stronger, and improved, a far better way, and need to better though to achieve it. When we make choices of our culture contains a say in which results we see a great results choosing our way in like manner. That's all. Thank you.